What you guys work on today?
Yeah, it's always, on these walkthroughs. It's it's always just being very intentional to do too much. So literally just more film focus, where it's low intensity but high intent is the way I like to phrase it. So kind of got some things in that we need for Atlanta, and then kind of cleaned up the things from last night that we feel will be most relevant for tomorrow.
Is it kind of a lighter day? Was that because you guys just came off a road trip and played a game, or is it because you have a back-to-back?
Both, yeah. So I think now with all the shooting, it's more just trying to expose them to some different positions, just to restore the movement a little bit, and then be ready for that back-to-back.
Yeah. Talking to us about how she's only been playing like 12 minutes a game or so because you guys are trying to get her ramped back up because she hasn't played in such a long time. How hard is it for you to try to integrate somebody in when they have like they can only play this many minutes, and you want to get them in after having not played in that long of a time, but you also still have
Yeah. So I think it's been great having Carly back. I think like each in the two games, getting better each game, each practice. I think with the way we're doing the rotations, it's actually been okay because we're committed to playing 10. So it's been easy to find those minutes. I think the challenge is going to be we've got so many young players playing so well. So that's when it's going to be really hard when we're talking about, when you got Sarah Williams, you got Frida Buna. We got some very difficult decisions coming up, and I think maybe it's things where, what I'm looking at is finding opportunities where I feel like a particular game suits them, because I think we've seen what they can both do, and, we got to find ways to get them playing time.
When you say decisions coming up that you have that are difficult, do you mean more of like roster stuff, or do you mean like rotations?
Just rotations, yeah. And I think that's a case of, just look at the opponent and think, all right, this could be a really good game for two bigs, versus this game, maybe we need Frida's shooting and perimeter skills more. And then I think, and it's just the mentality of always staying ready. And I think that's what, Frida was not going to be in the rotation last night. I felt we tried all these adjustments. I felt nothing was working, and I felt we just had to drastically change who was on the court. And we called Frida, and she was ready for her moment.
These next couple of games against Atlanta and any of those matchups that you think she's going to be useful for?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, especially seeing Atlanta. I think they've got they have the number one defense in the league. Mm-hmm. So we're going to need some shooting and some skill, I think, to combat that. So I think definitely in one of these two, I'm expecting heavy minutes for both Sarah and Frida.
What's the feeling being one of the best teams in the league right now?
Yeah, great feeling. And I think it's that mentality of, despite being the underdogs of the league and being the new team, we have to have high standards, and we have to go into games expecting to compete and to win, because that's the type of culture that's going to help, when we're talking about really making some noise in 2-3 years in a playoff series. So I'm very happy with the daily focus and the commitment from the group. I wasn't so happy with yesterday's game. I felt, that was probably like a 4 of 10 from us, but exciting because it shows how much room we have to keep getting better, keep growing, etc.
Which kind of game frustrates you more? That game and obviously you won last night, so that part of it is good, but like a game like last night where even though you won, you don't feel like you played well, or a game like Indy where you just got blown out?
Honestly, I'd say I had a very similar feeling from last night compared to how I felt after the Indy game. And then but then I watched the film back, and I did feel like we were trying to do some things last night, but there were moments during that third quarter stretch with the 3 turnovers in a row that's what really impacted me in the moment yesterday, before I got a chance to watch the film.